Hello and welcome to Nitro Talk. If you, like me, are a Nitro engine enthusiast, I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much for watching. First of all, I apologize. I have been kind of MIA lately. I've had some stuff going on. That's besides the point. I know who gives a crap, right? But anyways, I still have the Savage torn apart here, and she needs to get back together. So let's go ahead and do that today. Now, I made a video the other day, essentially swapping the pull start for a roto start and putting a clutch and clutch bell setup on the LRP here. I did decide that I am going to put the LRP back in the Savage. That video was an hour and 8 minutes of shenanigans. I'm going to try to kind of just go over the bullet points here. I want to let you know what happened so you can avoid it, right? That's a big thing I like to do here is, I like other people to learn from my mistakes, other than I learn as well. The rotor start went on pretty easily, no issues there. I did have to remove this from the Nova Rossi. I didn't have another of this exact roto start that would fit on here. So I pulled it off the Nova Rossi and threw it on the LRP here, and it is functioning properly, so no issues there. One thing, you always want to check when you're installing a roto start on an engine. You want to make sure, because this could be rotated one side or the other. Bottom probably won't work on most vehicles, but you could have the shaft insertion point be on either side. You want to check with whatever chassis you're using and make sure that you got a good path to get your shaft in there, right? You're not being blocked by something on the chassis. Sometimes you need to have it on one side or the other. So pay attention to that. All right, so why did I have such issues reclutching this thing? And I did have issues reclutching it. So let me tell you what happened. First of all, I have been doing my 8-scale off-road nitro buggies, specifically my Hyper 7s, for years now, for about 3 years at least. I have pretty much solely been working on my buggies. So when it came time to work on this, I kind of had my head was in the buggy mode, right? What I did was in my Hyper 7 8-scale off-road buggies, not only can you adjust the engine left to right to set your gear mesh, you can also adjust the engine front to back to match your gear mesh in that direction, right? You want your gear meshed up. You don't want it, off. You want it meshed up good. On the Savage here, you cannot move it back and forth. So you basically need to have a clutch set up that is close enough to the original that you can, shim it a little bit here or there if you need to. But what I did was I just pulled out my flywheel tub here. Now, for those of you who remember when we tore it down, it had on it this right here, which is an original HPI Savage 21 2-shoe clutch flywheel. The Savage 21 originally came with a 2-shoe clutch. That I wanted to replace it with a 3-shoe clutch. I just, again, not thinking about how I won't be able to move it front or back, I just grabbed a flywheel. I think I actually grabbed that one. I think that's off the MGT there. I grabbed a 3-shoe flywheel and went at it. And after getting everything all together, there's shenanigans involved in that too. This little thing here messed me up. You see how, so this is the stock flywheel. It's got this little raised section in the center, while that one there does not. So you need a different clutch nut for those two. Let me see if I could find the other example, because this one, it's kind of unique, the one that is on there, and it's because of that little raised section. Here we go. Here's one. All right, so you see how, so this is a clutch nut, and the groove, right, that the clutch spring sits in is about in the middle of the collet, of the clutch nut there. That one, on the other hand, you see how that the groove is at the very bottom. Well, that is because when used with that flywheel, the groove is in that position. And this other, used with this other, it is in the same position. If you use this with there, it's too low. If you use this with this, it's too high. Right? So you got to have the proper clutch nut to go with the flywheel you are using. Again, I've been doing a lot of low-C 4-shoe as far as clutches on my buggies, right? I've been doing low-C 4-shoe for a few years. I haven't done this other stuff, you know what I mean? I haven't worked on the Savage. I haven't had to deal with the spring height on a 3-shoe clutch. No, it's been a little bit. So I had to put stuff together, take it back apart over and over again. But here's the gist. Let me tell you what you need to know. So this, again, is the stock 2-shoe that came on it, right? I grabbed something else, tried to make it work, grabbed something else after that, tried to make it work. And then when I finished, what I ended up doing, right, after 45 minutes of working and taking back apart and just not having a great Nitro day. Oh, come on now, I know I got a couple more. I got one more at least of each style in here. I just saw them. Where the heck did I do them? All right, there we go. So what I ended up doing after 45 minutes of shenanigans was saying to myself, well, do I have in here a Savage flywheel? Essentially, the exact same thing, same raised section, same size. So this is a stock HPI Savage 2-shoe. This is a stock HPI Savage 3-shoe. I found one of those. That's one of them right there. And of course, using that, made for the Savage, came on a Savage. It lined up perfectly, beautifully, with no adjustment, right? Right on in beautifully. Now, should I have known to do that at the beginning? Probably. Probably should have. Oh, that's the roto start. I probably should have thought to maybe look for one that was similar to the one I was taking off. That probably would have been, but I didn't. So anyways, I found a Savage, an HPI Savage 3-shoe flywheel. I got new bearings. I put on one of these brand new. I got these a little bit back. Some Alpha 14-tooth clutch bells. I got a crap ton of clutch bells, but 13s and 14s, those are the ones that I use up. So I've used through all my stock, and now I got to buy some. But these here are kind of cool. I bought 2 of them. Were mailed to me directly from Ryan Lutz himself, from his eBay store. And I got just the right amount of tick. This is all set up beautifully. What else do I want to talk about? All right. Oh, yeah, a couple important things. Which is number 1. Well, this one isn't as important, but I'm not going to forget the other one. So my spur gear on here, right? It's not dead, but it's got misshapen teeth. It is on its way out. It's worn, okay? So I was thinking about replacing it while I have it apart. So I looked through my little tub here, and I've actually got 2 spares of that exact same part number and every same tooth, 76942 52 tooth, stock Savage 21 spur gears, and they're both in great shape. Beautiful. So I got 2 spares. Should I go ahead and replace it? Nah. I was thinking about it. I hate, you know how I save everything, and I don't like wasting anything. I don't want to waste a little bit of life it has left. It's got a little bit of life left. Spur gears are pretty easy to change on the Savage. That's a big reason why I decided to go ahead and run it till it dies, because it's not too hard to change the spur gear on a Savage. So I'll wear it, I'll use it till it's dead, and then I'll swap on a new one. All right, the other thing, and this is a little more important. So on my transmission there, the rear outdrive was looking horrible, right? Just not a good look on there. Could use a replacement. I don't have any. They are available. They're not cheap. I think you got to buy them in 2, and the cheapest I found them was like over $20. They're not giving them away. So I started looking through to see what else I had that might work, and I found something, and this is a good tip for y'all Savage owners out there. The MGT outdrive, that is that right there. Not only is it perfect, same shaft, same pin, not only is it perfect to replace this rear one, does not hit on the reverse ears there, but you could also replace the stock plastic gear in the front there. You can replace that with the MGT metal one. It is the same size. It is a direct replacement. So you could have these front and rear on your Savage. I don't really need it in the rear, but it's all I had on hand that would work, and it does work perfectly. It would be a better replacement for the front, but I needed it in the rear. But you could use it either. That's a MGT outdrive there. Good tip, I feel, if you can get a hold of those MGT parts. All right, let's get these flywheels out of here. We discussed our flywheels. Let's go ahead and start throwing this thing back together. Did we discuss everything we needed to discuss? I think we did. I had to use my, this is a piston locking tool from Duratrax. Had to use that during the shenanigans. All right, I didn't want to forget, I almost did forget to throw the axles back in, right? I didn't want to forget, so I threw the axles in and just threw these 2 screws there that hold the tranny to the motor mount plate. I wanted to check my mesh and all that stuff. Wonder if I should install the engine before I put that plate on. You know what? One thing I see I would like to do, where is my turnbuckle wrench. I want to adjust that carb so that the banjo fitting, see how right now it's shooting straight towards the engine. The line needs to be able, it does come from the rear here, so I want to have it to where it could meet right about there. Loosey goosey. And righty tighty. And about right there. Beautiful. All right, and I will not forget to lock down the carb. I need to, after I get it installed, I need to lock down the carb. Let's get a visual of how the slide is going to line up with this Savage setup here with the pivot. Sometimes you can have throttle linkage issues. Let me just get a feel for how this is going to go. Oh yeah, also make sure, well, it looks like my, it's the pull, okay, the ball end there is pretty much in the perfect spot. I don't need to rotate it at all. It will work fine right there. And yeah, looks like it's going to operate okay. May need a little, looks like it's a little too long. So I'm going to screw that down onto the shaft a little more so that it is not quite as long. There we go. Where are my motor mount screws? I guess let me go ahead and put the motor in. It takes these 3 millimeters. One on there. It should be a little easier with the side plate off. Are we in frame? Need to be able to slide them. And so the transmission and the motor mount plate are locked together. So even though we got flimsiness, I can set the mesh because these two are locked together. What is that? It looks kind of cockeyed. Is there, I mean, that's sitting flat. It looks like about right there. Give it a preliminary tighten. Is that? Oh, our spur gear is kind of wobbly, wonky wobbly. Yeah, it's probably going to be dead pretty soon. I tell you what, that, you hear that tick? It goes all the way around with no bad spots and beautiful tick. I think that is lovely gear mesh. So I'm going to tighten down these other 2 bolts. Make sure those first 2 are firmly tightened. And our mesh is set. Make sure always after you lock it down, always, aha, that's why I locked it down and now my tick is gone. It's too tight. Even though it felt good before the lockdown and it was in, you know, it shouldn't have moved. The first two were locked, right? But no, it locking down those other two shifted it and made it too tight. So we're gonna loosen them and shift it outward. There we go. Let's check. Nice. Nice. Looks yeah. I mean, it's not too much of a tick. It's not a tiny tick. It's on the larger side. Here's what I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's at the large end of acceptable ticks, is what that is. It is not too far apart. It just has a nice healthy tick. All right, our gear mesh is set. Our engine is in. Let's go ahead. I want to triple check and make sure these are all locked down really good. Come on. All right, we're locked and we're still good. All right. Okay, now I can adjust my carburetor. So as you can see, if you can see, it does not have a dead straight pull right now. It needs to be spun ever so slightly like that. And now it's got a nice, perfectly straight pull. I'm getting close to my spur there, but I am not hitting it. Let me make sure we're seated very well. Remember, we had that throat is kind of iffy on this thing, so I want to make sure this carb is seated very well. All right. So now, get that out of there. That can go back onto there. 1.5. So now, looks like it should be close enough to adjust in just right. We can go ahead and make sure that's nice and clear. Put our fuel line on. Looky there, we're getting, we just got to throw this chassis plate on, put it a little back together, and we're going to try to fire her up. Now that, how in the heck did I do that? I cannot get to the roto start. How is it too low? This is a Savage. You can always roto start a Savage. How is that blocked completely? What the heck did I do with my shaft? How in the heck? There, that is dead in front. How could, now let me, something's not right here. If you can see, that roto start is totally blocked by that bar in front. Does it usually sit higher? Is it sitting lower than it should be somehow? Is it going to twist that much? No, I mean, it's, what in the heck is going on? We roto start Savage all the time. They come with roto starts. It won't work. It's not like you can flip it to the other side and it'll work. It's the same bar in the same place. Didn't I check this before I did them? I'm sure I checked and made sure that this was going to fit. I checked it for left, right. I didn't check it for up, down because it's never been an issue. Can I put it on the bottom? I can put it on the bottom, but then I still wouldn't be able to get to it. I could not roto start this thing in any position. Is it the Savage 21? That you can't roto start it? There's something wrong here. I don't understand. I'm perplexed. This is shenanigans all over again. Shenanigans yet again. The engine is in the proper place. It's not, it's on a Savage mount, directly on the Savage mount plate. It's a standard engine. It's a frickin' LRP. It's a goddamn Savage engine. The roto start, it's just a roto start. Nothing's weird or anything with it. This right here, what are we looking at? This plate going across completely blocks access to the roto start. It's literally directly behind that right there. That roto start directly behind it. I do not get it. I tell you what, am I gonna shave down that plastic piece? Is there a metal rod that goes through there? If I shave down that plastic piece with my Dremel, I think I can shave a little hump out of it to where I can get access. Why is not a Savage being easily roto started? I've done this 30 times. I don't understand. You see what I'm saying? It is totally blocked. You see it back there? You cannot get to that. But if I take my Dremel, the sanding drum in there, shave that bar down a bit, I would be able to get to it, I believe. The big one went up there, right? It wasn't that one. Where's the other? There, I think it's that. Yeah, I think there's a metal rod going through that bar, connecting one side to the other. So I don't know if I'll be able to shave it down enough. Why am I having to shave it down? All right. There's no, I don't know what the heck is it because it's I don't understand. Savage usually you throw a roto starter on, it works. All right, I'm gonna look for a sanding drum to shave that down. And please, if I did something wrong here, and I'm missing something simple, please tell me. I don't know why. It seems to be sitting too low. It used to come through that little triangle there. I remember that. That's where it used to come through to hit your rotostart, was that little triangle right there in the mount. But that bar is in the way. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to move this bumper out of the way so I can get in there properly with my Dremel. I ain't gonna freaking give up. I tell you what. Yes, I could throw the pull start right back on there. Do I think that this little mod that I'm doing is gonna damage the structural integrity of the Savage? I don't really think so. I'm not removing that bar. I'm just shaving it down a little bit. Again, I don't freaking know why I'm having to do it. All right, bumper's out of the way. We can get right in here with this Dremel. Yeah, like I suspected, there is a metal bar that runs through it, but we did get down a fair bit before we got to the bar, so our structure should still be there. It is close, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I mean, she's in. Doesn't have the best angle. I'm going to try to give it a little better angle. Well, it should start, and I'm glad I've got that engine cap on the back of that and the front. Let me hit this with my air compressor to get rid of all the bits. All right, so we've made ourselves some access to the roto start. For whatever reason, we needed to do that. We did, so we got access to the roto starter. Please, someone, let me know what the heck I'm missing here. Why did I have to do that? I don't remember ever. I'm positive I've put roto starts on Savages before. I do not remember ever having to do that. Is that just a 21 thing? Or do I have something wonky on this thing? I do not know. Put my bumper back on. Let's throw this other side on. Let's fire this freaking thing up. That's I need some success. I want to hear this freaking thing shift is what I want. That's what I want. All right. Let's throw our chassis plate on. Where's that long bolt that I just had? And another one for the front. Now that these two main large front and rear windows are on, we can put our shocks back on. We had to take those off to get to those. So let's throw that shock back on. And that one. Come on, you. Spin and go in. It's hard to see the there we go. All right. Shocks are back on. We really just need to, and don't let me forget to do the transmission screws on the other side. And the handle. Holy crap, I've done that so many times. I went to start putting these screws back in, forgetting that the handle was not in place. All right. We'll put a pipe back on here. I'm not sure. You know, I probably should have put my manifold on before I put that shock back on. Might could have helped. I'm not sure if I want to put that same pipe back on or try another pipe. You know, maybe since we left the engine in, maybe we'll try a different pipe so we could switch something up, you know what I mean? And we will have to check our radio and set that up for the new carburetor. Whenever you change the carburetor on an engine, you have to reset your throttle linkage, usually. Moving right along. Where's those got some big motor mount screws here, keep the motor mount in place. I think we had a different one back there. Is that the one that had the washers on it? If it did, it doesn't need them. All right, our mesh is still lovely, even though we got it back together. That's a good sign. Just a few more screws here. I think we have, is this the plastic one? And I have another one of those. Alrighty, we are getting there. Just a couple more. I need these cap head. Make sure this tranny is held in place quite well. We don't want it shifting, huh? Get it? We wouldn't want it to be shifting in place. Okay, everything looks good there. Just got that one. And one more. One. That'll work. 2.5. No, actually, will that not work? We'll have to get in the way. Let's see. Give me, oh, there we go. Beautiful. All right, we are back together. We got good gear mesh. We got access to the roto starter. We can throw our tank back on. Oh, one thing. I always use shock absorbers on the Savage fuel tank. I'll put little cut pieces of fuel line. Got a good zoom there. Little cut pieces of fuel line right on those posts. Where'd the other one go? There it is. That way it helps absorb the shock when you go through you do your gnarly jumps sometimes. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna have to wait a second. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to do this upside down. Put that there. Actually, no, I need to put it, let me plug this line, clean that off a little bit. plug that line, and this needs to come through here and connect, and then there we are. All right, our fuel tank is in place. What did I have? A couple small, yep, there they are. One goes there, hold the tank in place. And I like to also put another shock absorber ring on the top as well. I just didn't do it this time, but I do like to do that. All right, both clips are in place. Our tank is installed. Which pipe are we going to do? You know what? Let me go take a peek. I'll be right back with some options. How about that? It's like a MGT, or not MGT, but LST, or I don't know, Muggy or something. I don't know. It's a side or a rear exhaust pipe one that goes across that way. But I think we could throw it on there pretty easily. Let's check that one out just for shits and giggles, right? All right, let me take the rear cap off of that engine. Is that the same exhaust gasket that we were using before? Throw that on. And let's throw our exhaust manifold on. Fits beautifully. Let's throw the spring on. It's hard to see. Oh, I got it. Lucky shot. And we'll bring her all the way around. There we go. Out of the way of the carb. Seated just fine. Nice tight fit. Lovely. And crap, we might not even have to adjust our pipe mount. Looks like we're going to line up almost beautifully. Lovely. Which exhaust coupler were we using? That one right there. A Hong Nor coupler. Like a glove. There we go. Let me go ahead and tighten this. That ain't bad at all. What color zip ties? I want some fairly big ones so as not to cut. Dude, let's go with those oranges. I'll zip tie this coupler in place. And we are, how far away from starting are we? I think we're pretty close to starting, aren't we? Route that exhaust airline. And I think we'll be about ready to start. Fuel out of that line. I guess that's fine. Do I want to zip tie it out of the way? I mean, not really. It's kind of, yeah. Or do I want to maybe give it one of those? Yeah, should be fine. Nah, I gotta give it one. Ooh, and we'll go through that hole there so it doesn't slide up and down. All right. Not tight, but just snug enough to hold it in place. All right. Pipe on. Do I want to deflect or do I want to deflect that? Let's go ahead and throw these wheels on. Which nuts were I using? That's the one for there. And that's the one for there. Uh-oh. Is it starting time? Finally, on this thing. We got to put an air filter on it. Oh, we got to check our carb. Make sure our linkage. Alrighty. Uh-oh. Alright. We got to check the linkage. Let me grab my radio. Fire it up. It is already on salve. Where's my power switch on this thing? It's up here somewhere, right? Yeah, I need to make that longer again. I thought I might have to do that when I shortened that rod. I was like, I'm probably gonna have to make it longer. Kill that for now. Kill that. I'm just gonna remove it and unscrew it to lengthen it. Let me actually see exactly how much I got. So make sure, okay, I got a pretty good amount. I don't want to leave it short of threads, you know what I mean, and have it rip out. All right, let's give this another shot. Tell you what, we need to adjust our brake, but so far our throttle looks beautiful. A little bit more of the brake. All right, but it's perfectly closed at no throttle, and let me see how far we're getting an open. I believe. Am I all the way extended out on my endpoints? What is it, channel? It's channel 2, right? That's about as far as we can get it. You can't never get a really, really long throttle pull on the Savage because of that rotating setup there. Let me check this screw. That screw is kind of loose. Tell you what, we're getting a freaking great pull on that thing. I got no Venturi in it. So let me go ahead and throw me a Venturi in. An 8mm red is what I want. Let me go ahead and make sure it's clean. Alright, 8mm red Venturi. And I tell you what, we're getting almost the whole thing, pretty much, just a sliver. Alright, so our throttle is good. We just need to throw an air filter on here and we should be able to fire it up. Right? I don't see any reason why not. Air filter on. No zippity doo-dah. And tighten. And snip. All right. We're filtered. We got fuel. We should be in running order. Carburetor is locked down. Of course, the head's on good. Glow plug is tight. Y'all ready to see what happens? I am. Oh crap! Do I have batteries for my roto starter? Maybe not. What was I using in it? I was using that one and that green energy. Where did it go? All right, give me. Oh nope, there it is. All right. I am ready to see. I'm ready to see this thing fire up. Let's see if we can get a prime going. Really? Not only am I got a bad connection back here, and I think my batteries, I had charged them up to mess with the starters the other day, but they need a top off. So let me charge those batteries. I'll BRB. All right, so I figured out, first off, I figured out the roto start thing. Yeah, it was something kind of simple. I put one of these on here, side style. The Savage one is corner style. It's lifted up to the corner, not in the middle. This, the thing is though, I don't have, this one won't fit. I don't have one the proper size that's up in a corner. So if I wanted to put a roto start on it, that's exactly what I would have had to do anyway, and I'm fine with it. If that's what I got to do to get a roto start on it, I'm totally cool. It's structurally fine. Alright, we ready to try to fire this freaking thing? It's been a long journey, huh? She should be good and primed at this point. Let's see. Yeah, I would say she's good and primed. Boy, that thing fired right the frick up. Tell you what, where's my, did it? Well, yeah, okay, I guess it can get up 20 degrees in that quick. It's got a little warmth. Alright, anyways, where is my throttle? Throttle was a bit high. I'm going to lower it here. And, you know, that carb, I don't remember, where did I pull that carb from? That carb seems to have pretty good settings where it's at. Alright, we got our exhaust catcher on. Can I do it this way? I guess I can. Alright. There we go. So I tell you what, I put that engine together, put everything on it, put that no rusty carb on it. It's the very first time I'm ever firing it up. Idle still seems to be a bit high, maybe a bit lean actually. She's idling. Now it's going to sound funny because it's got the tube on the exhaust. It doesn't sound like it normally would. But it does seem to have a lovely idle. Now this high-speed needle, I don't know if you can see it. That high-speed needle is sticking up out of there. I'm not sure if that's going to definitely mean it's going to be rich when I go to the high speed, but it could be. Tell you what, she got a lovely idle. Doesn't seem to be, it seems to be airtight. So far, it does not seem to be going up and down in the idle, which would indicate an air leak. It seems to be idling great so far. Oh man. Oh crap, I think this thing's gonna be a monster. Alright, let's check her out. I'm not opening it up all the way. It looks like we got some drag brake. I haven't heard a shift yet. I tell you what, it seems to be, oh, we richened up there. Looks like we got a, is my bag leaking? Oh man, my cat's attacked my bag and it's leaking all over. Crap. Well, I tell you what, that's good enough for now. Let me put this piston down the bottom dead center. Let me do that. There we go. Let me go ahead and cap this. I'll take this, throw her outside. It definitely has smoke in it, so that engine was not lean. I tell you what, I'm very happy with that startup. Other than we didn't get a shift, but I did not get fully into the throttle either. So I'm not totally miffed on not getting a shift yet. But that engine seems to be airtight, idles nice, accelerates nice. The carburetor seems to be working good. I am very happy with the engine so far. Pipe didn't seem bad either. We had the thingy on it, so who knows. But I tell you what, that's a good first test for me. I'm happy with that. Our repair of the messed up carb throat on this seems to be working good. I'm happy about that. Our LRP is in good working order. That's a win. As far as is the tranny going to shift? If it doesn't shift where it's at, we're going to adjust it. We haven't tried adjusting it yet. We just got to put it back together. So there we go. We're installed, put back together. Engine is tested good. Tranny test to come. That's where we're at. We will get her out in a field somewhere and open her up and see if we can get her to shift. And we'll adjust it. If we can't, we'll try to figure it out. We talked about the roto start. Thank you all very much for watching. Sorry I've been kind of MIA lately, like I said. I needed to get the Savage out off my bench here. It's kind of been a touch frustrated with it, but it's finished and ready to go now. I can clean up and get ready for another project, and we are going to run this thing. See y'all later. Have a great